want to thank the grace of heaven and virtue of enlightening masters, mercy of transmitter, and confidence placed by our senior lecturers and all of you for the opportunity to learn to explain the scripture by Buddhas. And we'll continue from last week. We'll talk about scripture by longevity god of the South Pole. Okay. The last, we left off at the third sentences or stanzas of longevity sense, and so we'll start with the 了了分明. Okay, the fourth line. So we be clearly and aware of every thought that comes to our mind, and we can let go of good and evil thoughts. This is like practicing the letting go of affinity and do not have a single thought arise, as advocated or promoted by Lecture Liu. If we can do that, then slowly we'll have that. We have no attachments. We don't abide in anything. Then our heart will be very pure, tranquil, and very concentrated, and then our Buddha nature will reveal. And when our Buddha nature is in charge, naturally we don't have any, we don't have, bad thoughts, bad intentions, and even we can let go of the proper notion. Yeah. One of the very famous lines in the Dharma Sutra is, even if it's the Dharma, we should let go. Okay, even it's the proper Dharma, we should let go. Let alone it's not bad thoughts or bad intentions. Yeah, because that's the way Buddhas and enlightened beings are. They have what we call the 真空妙有. It means the true emptiness. But when situations arise, when circumstances arise, and they need to help resolve, then they would use their Buddha nature to help all sentient beings resolve things. But when things pass, then they return to that. We say the tranquility or the true void, or in other words, in Sanskrit language is sunyata, right? Lecture Thai, sunyata. 真空. And now at this time, longevity Sen of the South Pole announced himself. He said, "I'm the old man." Because I use old man here. He's identifying himself. So probably you won't say I'm old, god of longevity god of the South Pole. And on God's decree, arrived at Yulin Temple. So I assume you probably are not aware that we also have a temple. It's a public temple in Chino, right? Chino of California. Yeah, and so every year when we have a Dharma class here in spring, they also have one. So that's like the last stop, the last leg of all the Dharma classes. Yeah, and so upon entering the temple, pay respect to God. Then ask my, in Chinese, longevity sense, 各位宝宝们, because remember how old he is. We don't know how he's, but he's just old. But in spite of his age, he has the complexion of the face of a baby. But he also has very white skin, white hair, white eyebrow and mustache. Yeah. So he always addressed all the people in the temple as darling or babies. And I looked through some other scriptures that he did before, and all of them are the same. It's babies. We are his babies.
We're still babies.
Right. And remember, I think when longevity Sen came, transmitter Jin also kind of introduced longevity Sen. He said when he had like a wink. And how many reincarnation? 徐讲师 yeah 他打一个盹 how many
他一打瞌睡
yeah I think it's like how many 七个 copper is it copper
It's not called copper.
uh-huh
Seven cycles.
oh yeah
From one week.
yes he just
29,600.
yeah right
7 times.
7 times. 1 week.
We don't know if that exactly means that. It just means a long time.
yeah
It just means many cycles.
It's good to wink or not to wink? Does that mean it's
No,
good
not
for him
wink.
to wink or not to wink?
He dozed off.
yeah
Oh.
not wink right 是打一个盹哈 dozed off okay yeah now we're going to talk about the scripture, which is like a song by Longevity Saint, and it says, okay, Johnny, can you help me, please, with this? The title of the song is "I Want," or you can say "I Wish." Okay, it's the first one. It says, "I want to make myself noble." Or it may say, I want to be noble and lofty, 高尚 in Chinese, and won't do anything against conscience. Okay. Now I'm going to ask all of us to contribute here. What do you think are the character or the attributes or the quality traits of a noble person? We talked about that last year or before Dharma class. Who would like to be the first? A noble person from Indus language. Jean?
Very dignified.
Oh, very good. Dignified. Sister Chen? Uh-huh.
Something that are true and
Truthful, honest. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Sister Lee? Noble?
noble person.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
Hmm?
a noble
Righteous?
Righteous. Very good. Yeah. Yeah. Ashley? Video. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's basic. Yeah. Sister Wei? A noble person. We'll come back to you, so it's not to waste time. Rochelle?
Puts others' needs before his.
Very good. Yes. Vivian? A noble? Huh?
Respectful.
Yes, very good. Respectful. Cindy?
Like to elaborate on the being like respectful of the people around you and respectful of like the environment and the objects that you use.
Okay. Yeah, very good. Thank you. Karen?
Very noble, but even more humble.
Yes. Very good. Yes. Latrici? Christine?
Somebody who's very justified.
Very justified. Okay. Yes. Eric?
I was going to say very humble and like fair.
Uh-huh. So like 2 words out of your mouth. Lecture Kai, I'm sure you have a lot.
He's looking it up.
You can say one who can be at one with their true nature, and also be able to display, the 5 constants, 8 virtues, 3 pillars, 4
He can go on forever.
Yeah.
So that's what it is, But so there's so many different aspects.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Asim?
respect from everyone.
Uh-huh. Respect for everyone. Johnny? Benevolence. Yeah. Sister Wei?
Good attitude towards everyone.
Good attitude. Yeah. So everyone covers almost about the same good quality. Yeah. And during the the visit by Longevity Sense, he said, does wearing brand names or driving a fancy car make us noble? No. So it's not something external that makes us noble. It's really something from within us, that we have true respect, we have true regard, we have true love for all sentient beings. And there are people who are in the noble, or we say with the royal family, so they are supposedly very noble, but it's not always the case, right? Yeah. So it's actually it's how we treat all sentient beings. If we have that equanimity, we have that benevolence for all sentient beings. And also we have to make sure that we don't do anything against our conscience. If we do anything in accordance with our conscience, or in accordance with our Buddha nature, then we are naturally a noble person. Okay, the second one is, I want to make myself at ease, or you can say I want to be at ease and won't harbor any hypocritical and deceitful thoughts. So when we have any hypocritical thoughts or thinking, or we try to deceive people, do we have ease of mind? Because we still would be afraid that sometime it's going to backfire, okay? Because we all have this Buddha nature, and we all have this conscience. So if we do something that's really bad, like we deceive people, we cheat people money or something else, then our conscience will always think, right? And so we'll never have peace of mind. So I remember one of my friends who always said, at the end of the day, please look into the mirror and see if you can truly smile at what you have done today, that you have nothing to be ashamed of, or you don't have any guilty conscience, or you will feel uneasy about. Now, next one, I want to make progress, or I want to improve myself and won't waste any precious time. Okay, I think we talked about that last time, because Longevity Zen also said we have to make good use of every second of our time. Because if we have a goal in helping with the Tao, in helping all sentient beings, then we should have a lot of things to do, and we have so many things to do, and it's going to be a shame if we waste any time. When we don't waste time, then we are making proper efforts, we are making positive efforts, then naturally we will make progress. Okay, the next one is,我要让自己觉醒. I want to awake myself, okay, or to make myself aware, okay. And so what's the result of awaking ourselves? Awake ourselves means to also awake ourselves to our Buddha nature, to our conscience. And so the result is what? That we won't let mundane things blind our hui yan means the eye of wisdom. Okay, and that's also talking about the third eye, or our Buddha nature. So if we are awake, then we truly understand the principles, we truly understand the meaning of life, the meaning of our existence, why we come to this world, then we will not be tempted by all these mundane things, all the things that glitter. So our Buddha nature, or our third eyes, is always at work. And then I want to make myself brave and won't be hindered by illusions and fear. So again, because we are brave, then in the second part of the sentence is the result. Now this brave, it doesn't mean, just like sometimes in the intellect, Confucius often talk about 匹夫之勇. It means that bravery without any good reason. There are things that we should not be doing now, but we just go ahead and do it without caring for the consequence. That's not called bravery. That's what Confucius said, 匹夫之勇. It's a person who has just the courage, but without any you can say wisdom or any logical thinking. Now, and because if we have the true bravery, it means the bravery here means that we have the courage to admit, like when we have we make any mistake, we have the courage to admit our mistake and also to correct our faults. It also means the bravery that we display when we need to kind of give up our self-interest in order to help other people. And in some cases, it's the bravery to save other sentient beings' lives. Like the first respondents in 911, the 911 attack, they just went ahead and into, the blazing fire. Yeah, and Asim probably don't know that we also have a temple member here who really sacrificed himself in order to save his colleague. He was working in the Twin Tower, and he was already in the last elevator going down. Yeah. So the left, Jane, do you want to talk?
He saw that his co-worker who was pregnant was still out of the elevator. He stepped out for his co-worker to go there. Yeah. So he saved 2 lives. And because of that, he is now a saint in heaven.
Yeah, his picture is also in the wall, in the hallway. We can show you later. Yeah, that's
His name
true
was Michael
bravery.
O.
Yeah, and he was awarded the title of Immortal of Loyalty and Righteousness. Yeah, a very good example. Yeah, I think some of us would think, if I were in that situation, what would I do? Yeah. Okay. Now the next one is, I want to make myself a warm person or a zealous person, and I won't be a cold and indifferent person. So this is about our attitude towards other people, and it's not just that in the temple, in the Dao community, that we should have that that warm attitude towards other people. It's also in daily life. We should be very good, amiable to our family member, to our co-workers, and if we can do this, or even wear a smile in the street, walking in the street, I'm sure that's going to brighten up people. And imagine ourselves walking into a place where everyone is pulling a long face. How will we feel? Is there going to be good energy in that space? No, right? Yeah. I think it's because of people's mentality and people's mind towards other that's really affecting the world. And see what's happening in the world now. Everyone heard of the terrorist attacks in Nice in France, right? So don't take just a smile lightly. If we can all smile, we can all radiate that positive energy. We can all together turn things around. And it's actually truly when we are truly grateful for what we have, for our opportunity to live in this world, then that happiness will be from our true heart. And so that's going to be very genuine, and it's going to really impact a lot of people. Then I want to make myself focused or single-minded and want that power, fame, or gain, of fortune distract my mind. Okay, this is talking about what having that the goal. Okay, we have only one goal in this life. What is that? Johnny. Huh? Yeah, okay, to achieve Buddhahood. Okay, but when we really become a Buddha, do we only care about ourselves? Uh-huh. Yeah, we will have the true concern for all sentient beings. Okay. Now, when we are focused, we have this mission in our mind. Then we will also focus all of our energy, our resources on this, this goal. And so, all the fame or gain or other things will not distract us. Okay. Yeah, that's why when we are not firm in our goal, then sometimes some people might give up some way when they meet with some bottleneck or some tribulation. Okay, so we and there are so many we say different dogma or different teachings or different what is like other religious faith or other sects, SECT, that are telling us that we can help you also transcend life and death. Okay, we can guarantee you that you can have a very good life in the future and things like that. But remember, we have to recognize what's the true path. Okay, remember longevity Zen also said there are so many paths in this world, but cultivating the Tao is the path that you should walk on, and you will not make a mistake when you walk on this path. And also remember, we have to hold on to the golden thread. Okay, sometimes there are people from other temple who are trying to invite us to their temple or maybe ask them to join their temple. Remember, we have to follow our golden thread. Unless that we go to a place where we don't, Happy Buddha Temple does not have a branch there, then we ask for permission from our transmitter here or the Tao Center, and if we can go to the other temple to cultivate the Tao, to help with the Tao. Otherwise, we should try to stay within the golden thread. Okay. Okay, the next one. I want to make myself shine, or say radiate. Okay, so here of course means that to have our Buddha nature manifest, to glow with our Buddha's light, and want that selfishness and ignorance darken or cover up our true self. Okay, remember when we received the Tao, we were told that we have our third eye open, or we have our heavenly portal open. It was actually remember our soul entered through this point, right? But as soon as we were born, this point was covered. And it's through the Tao receiving ceremony that this part was opened again. And then there's going to be a pilot light. Okay. So it's going to be like in the beginning, it might be just a little, light. They say it's like a green bean, right? But as we establish merit and cultivate ourselves and also develop our virtue, this light is going to become brighter and brighter. That's why Buddhas and saints, they all have that aura around them. Yeah. And this is true. It's not something like just in a picture, only a picture by a painter and artist. That's true, okay? You can see some people whose face kind of glow. I can give testimony. We have a Tao member here who had cancer. When she first came here to receive the Tao, you could tell that she's very sick. Yeah, but after she attended the Dharma class, I think she really learned something from the Dharma class. And so she kept coming back every Sunday, even Wednesday evening. And now you can see her face really glows. Yeah, and she had also a test, some test done, and she was told that she doesn't have that cancerous cell. That's very miraculous. But this is the preciousness of the Tao. Yeah, because by doing something good, then we can offset some of the bad things we did in the past. Yeah, this is causality, and it's there. Even Buddhas and saints are not around, or even there's no Buddhism or no Tao, Tao is always there. Okay, no other religion.
When did this happen?
Hmm?
When did this happen? When?
Here, yeah,
What? Which year?
this year.
This year?
Yeah, we just had a Dharma class. She also attended the Dharma class. Yeah,
She's coming here?
yeah.
Is she here today? Introduce them to her.
Let me ask the person first, okay? Yeah, yeah, I will. Okay, so actually the light is always within us. It's just the sun that's high up in the sky, but when it's cloudy day, it covers up the sun. But the sun is there. Now, Buddha's light is always within us, so we just have to cultivate ourselves so that it's going to get brighter and brighter. And then it says, the next one says, I want to make myself happy, or you can say I want to be happy, and I won't allow external circumstances to affect my mood. Yeah, during the visitation, Longevity Sen asked the class member, are you happy today, or are you usually very kind or very respectful to your parents or to your friends? And so some of them, or you speak in a very soft and very loving tone to your parents. And so one of the class members said that it depends on my mood. So Longevity Sense asks a lot of questions, and a lot of times they will reply, say, really it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. If I'm in a good mood, then I'm nicer to people. If I'm in a bad mood, then I can be very mean or very unkind to people. Yeah, or very rude to people. So Longevity Sense, oh, you have a lot of moods. 你们有很多心情哈 Yeah. So actually, a true cultivator who really understands that we can be inherently happy, then they will not be like driven by what's happening on the outside. Even sometimes they come across very severe tests, they will still be face up to the challenge with a smile, because even it can be very tough, very hard for us to do, but if we have that positive energy in us, then we can always solve the problem more smoothly. And always remember, even when we are sick, don't complain, oh, why is this happening to me? Or when we are not promoted, rather we are like, well, not demoted. When we should be promoted, but we are not. Don't complain. There must be something. Or even sometimes they do us wrong. People do us wrong. Then we try to improve ourselves. We try to prove ourselves that we are really good, whether or not you give me this recognition, you give me this pay raise or not. And especially when someone is very sick, it's very important to stay happy, because when we are worried or when we have a very negative mind, then we are going to produce a lot of what is that? Toxic, yeah, and also very bad cells inside our body, and that's going to really make things deteriorate, make things even worse. Yeah.
See, a lot of people when they say, oh God, why me? Why me? We should say, oh God, why not me? Right?
Yeah, and in our temples, you often hear there are two places where we can pay off our karmic debts. One, I'm sure all of you know now, right? What are the two places?
In the temple and in the hospital.
Yes, very good. Yeah, sometimes when we are sick, it's because we are paying off the debts we owed. It could be from past lives. It could be from this present life. So at this time, just still be grateful that we have this human body. Now we also have all received this Tao. So this gives us gives us an opportunity to really correct ourselves, to offset the bad karma. Okay. So one of the main thing I recognize in the Tao is that, to how we can make ourselves happy. And usually, well, there are things happen, but what really can upset us is the relationship, with maybe in the family, or with our, spouse, our significant others, with our parents, or even with our kids. All right, in our workplace with our superior. Boss, or someone who's managing us, or someone who's working under us, supporting us, and if they do something or say something that upset us, if we allow ourselves to be affected by that, then we're not being wise, right? Why do you want to be unhappy because of other people's fault? And I just, from my experience, when we are happy, then we are just more creative, and we just have better, usually we come up with better ways to solve the problem. Okay, so the last one is, I want to make myself accomplish, 让自己成就. Well, you can also say, I want to make sure that I do accomplish something, and I won't give up my goal or the ideal of becoming a Buddha. Okay, so we just learned from other classes that it's very fortunate for us to be able to receive this Tao. Okay, think of the population of the world, and how many people are so fortunate enough to be receiving this blessing. Okay, so we are truly the very special, probably one in the zillion, or trillion, which is bigger. No, zillion is the...
Zillion is bigger.
Yeah, okay, not just one in a million, okay. Yeah, so we are so fortunate. And remember, we also took the vows while we received this blessing, and also at the graduation ceremony of the Dharma class, that we want to help all sentient beings. It doesn't mean that we have to give up our mundane life, because if we still have a family, or we still have to work, it means that we still have mundane responsibility. There are people who doesn't have to be bothered with that, or they don't have to be working, or they can be focused on the cultivating. But everyone's different. Okay, so if we still have to work, then we still work well, because Tao is really in everyday life. It's not just only in the temple. Yeah, there are people who say, I'm always happy in the temple, but when I go back to life or to my work, I'm not happy at all. I'm not happy again. So that's not truly understanding, what Tao is about.
That's because they don't like their job.
Yeah, but I remember I once asked my brother, what's the thing that makes you upset at work? What are you mostly dissatisfied with your work? That's before I received the Tao. Okay? And he said, well, actually, there are always, we say, the down moments, right? The down sides, or the flip side of everything. The important thing is how you make yourself enjoy your work. Yeah, and so remember, we all want to be Buddhas and saints. Although different people have different karma, different affinity, and also different previous lives. So we cannot always, even if we don't become a Buddha, it's still good that we become a Bodhisattva, or, like, like immortals. But we have to really aim high. They say when you aim for the sun, at least you will get the star, right? This is not the exact saying, but you just have to aim high, because the result usually is going not to be 100% of what we want. Okay, so this is part of this is the poem I want or I want to, I wish. Okay, I hope later on we have a little bit of time to talk about this. And we're going to talk about this is another poem by Longevity Scent. Okay, it says, everyone is different with their own way of thinking. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, a very simple example. I once went to Home Depot and I was having some kind of mint drop in my hand. And so one of the staff who was helping me asked, how's that? I said, good. I said, do you want one? I have every intention to share, that because I think that makes your mouth feel fresh. Okay, so I asked, do you want one? And he answered, do you think I need one? And I feel a little bit embarrassed. It's like I'm saying that he has some bad, uh,
Was he saying it jokingly or seriously?
Not jokingly, but not too.
He was offended.
Yeah, no, he was not offended.
Okay.
But he took it the other way, right? I just think because we sometimes just have a mint.
So in other words, we should never offer a mint gum to people.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So sometimes when we have when we have different opinions, don't get upset. Try to see if the other person has a point in doing what the person is doing. If there is, then we try to follow their way. If you feel that yours is better, then calmly explain it to your thinking or your intention or the thoughts behind your action or your plan. Okay. And then we have to learn to be forgiving and understand, or to have also developed that mutual understanding. Sometimes some people do something and really surprise us in an unpleasant way. But if you during the visitation, longevity sense that sometimes husbands and wives might come home, unhappy and might say things very, very, like say something that's going to hurt us. Okay. Well, usually we would react with the same attitude. Most of the time, we would react with somewhat same attitude. But if we just take a step back and try to maybe ask what happened, if there might be something happening at work that, or something that he encountered that lead the person to have that attitude. Yeah, so always ask. Okay, that's why remember Charles said in a relationship, communication is very important.
Yes.
Right? We think maybe he's upset with me. That's why he's talking to me like that, right? But it's actually, especially some people, they are not very good at just expressing what's in their mind. Even it has nothing to do with us, but they still have that type of attitude, and we feel that
especially within the family members,
Mm-hmm.
you tend to be so close that things that come out, they take it seriously and offended.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we have to be careful how we say it and what comes out.
Mm-hmm. Yes, like in the past, I'm a person who I think I'm usually very careful with how I how I go along with people. I try not to be, offensive, or I try not to be on the aggressive side. I like to have harmony. But if some people are not doing the same to me, they say some things that I feel are not respectful, then I probably would be very upset, and then, I would feel very miserable. But now I think most of the time it's because of what happened to them, but it has nothing to do with me. So I would just pretend not to see this, just
just pretend.
tolerate for the time being, and then after a while, I think they become more when they become more relaxed. Then they will say what happened, and then if we also become very defensive and then get into a quarrel, that's going to make things even worse. Yeah. And then we should know that everyone grows up in different circumstances. Yeah. Different geographical, different culture, or different religious background can all, these are the things that all define us. And sometimes even it's our work that define us. So we sometimes may talk in different language, or I'm not talking about, linguistic, but, different,
Well, different cultures have
Yeah.
different thinking. The mindset is totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
I'm brought up here, so I am more Americanized. Whereas Virginia is from China, she is more traditional. So I have to use my traditional ways to talk to her, so she will not get upset with me. Okay, so this is how it works.
You mean if you're born in Brooklyn, it's different?
Yeah, Brooklyn and Queens is different.
I did a very embarrassing thing. I'm in a business, and we, like glazing business, and we sometimes visit job sites. And there was a time earlier in my business, we have to visit a hotel, and then I think one of the rooms that we are going to replace the glass for happens to be the dorm of their staff member, the hotel staff member. And when we visit job sites, usually it's like office and things, so we just walk right in. And so at that time, from habit, I just want to walk straight in. But the manager kind of hold me back because this is a girls' dormitory, and you don't know what's out there, right? So he let the girl kind of go in first and take care of what she has to take care of, and then we walked in, and I felt so embarrassed. I'm just so not very thoughtful, right?
Well, I learned that in like Asia, people just go to people's home without first informing them.
Yeah.
This is America. I personally do not like people to come to my door without calling me 1st. Can I come over? This is America. And I would not do that to other people where I'm just going to go and ring their doorbell. Right? So this is, So China is different.
Yeah, that's why it's, even though there are always some hard times and challenges to work in a different culture or different country, but it's really a very eye-opening experience. Now you develop that type of awareness, right? That you have to have respect for people, for their background, for their culture. Okay, then the next line is temperaments, 秉性. Temperaments, is that a good word, Lecturer Kai?
Disposition.
A disposition. Okay, temperaments. These are because of our different cycles of reincarnation, we all have acquired different disposition, character, personality styles, or temperaments. And all these are all in our Buddha, in us, right? It's like, this is part of Alaya, right? Is it recorded in our Alaya?
Yeah, Alaya.
Alaya, yeah. Okay, so that's our the eighth consciousness. Yeah. And so it takes time for us to really try to change or to try to eliminate all this, the bad temperaments or dispositions. And then the last one is the world is very vast or very broad. Okay, so do not confine ourselves to the little or the small box. We often hear, but get out of the small box. Right? So sometimes we have to jump out of the box in order to see the big picture. Yeah, there's a very famous philosopher in China, in ancient China, and his name is Zhuangzi. Yeah, he also says something like, sometimes human beings like to grope, keep, possess a lot of things, but he is the person who says, heaven is my quilt or my comforter, and the earth is my bed.
Oh.
Yeah. It means that he has the entire nature, the entire universe. When we want to grow something, like we can only have a handful of something, right? Oh, I want a big mansion. If our mindset is on the material things, then we have this limitation, and we are just confined to those things. But if we don't have this idea of possession, we have the entire world to us. Is that right? He also says something like, the forest is so vast, right? But a bird can only perch on one branch, right? And also the river is so, well, what is that word for? Also very broad and so much water. But if the fish can only drink a stomachful, same with us, right? And so I think there's a Japanese, they say called national teacher. He's the person who teaches the prince who is going to ascend the throne. And he gave a story. There was a prisoner who complained his cell was so small. And once there was a fly who got into his cell, and he was trying to catch the fly. But whenever he comes to this wall, fly goes to that wall, and he was never able to catch the fly. And at that time, he realized that the cell wasn't small at all. So it's really in our mindset, right? And so they say, when we have attachments, in the original language, say, if we still have dust, or we still have the forms, then even the three realms is small. However, if we don't have any attachment, even a bed is very vast. Our bed, B-E-D. Yeah, so we have to learn to let go, and then we'll be happy. And then we have to make our first step. 踏出脚步 means we have to take the first step to broaden our mind. Okay, so it's not just in the talking; it has to be, in the action. Okay, how do we expand our mind to make us more broad-minded? So when a person has a very big heart or broad-minded, a person is usually very giving, tolerant. He's not contentious, does not have jealousy. He's just one with everyone. Okay. And then if we can do this, the previous lines, then we can really develop a very positive and appreciative view of others. This way we don't see faults in others. We only see the goodness in others. Yeah. And actually it's because that we often see the fault in others that's making ourselves unhappy. Right? If we see everyone is kind, everyone is lovely, are we not happy too as well, right? Yeah. In this way, everyone can really get along happily. Okay. Yeah. And so this is the way a cultivator should be. Okay. We should be able to get along with people with different personality, from different background. Yeah. So in other words, we have to have no ego. Yeah. So I think there's ego. E-G-O. When we have ego is like to edge God out, right? Okay, next one is truly, sincerely wish all sentient beings be cheerful and worry-free. Yeah, that's what Buddhas and saints encourage us to do. That when we are praying, or we are even walking in the streets, or we're not doing anything, we try to wish everyone well. Okay, because when we have this positive mindset, the positive things is going to return to us. Okay, and then we should let gratitude and contentment take root in our heart. Yeah, be able to appreciate, that's also very important. Only when we are truly grateful, then we can always be happy. Then we have no complaint. Okay. And so the world is going to be a very warm place when there is true feeling, true love, and when there's righteousness. And then the last two lines, longevity sense. I'm going to leave two lines for your holy teacher to complete. So these are the two. He said, because love can dissolve ignorance and karma. That's true. But that's true love. That's what we call the divine love. The love of the Buddha, the love of enlightened beings. And then a blissful. If we can do that, then we can resolve the ignorance, because ignorance can lead us to do a lot of bad things, right? And it's also important for us to get rid of the karma, because with karma we still are subject to the reincarnation. We can never ascend to the absolute heaven. So actually, the last two lines are like summarizing the entire song. If we can really do that, then a blissful paradise is right in this moment. It doesn't mean we have to go to a certain space, right? So, holy teacher in our Buddha also said, if we are thinking the way a Buddha thinks, we are doing things a Buddha does, then we are already a Buddha. Okay. In the end, I am going to share with you. There is supposedly a letter from Einstein to his daughter, but I usually would. We should not really just blindly accept whatever people give us. I look it up on the internet. This is not true. Although when we kind of attribute this to a scientist like Einstein, that really make the statement carry more water, holds more weight, right? Yeah, to have more, to be more powerful. Yeah, but doesn't matter. Actually, the message here is very good. He says there is an extremely powerful force that so far science has not found a formal explanation to. It is a force that includes and governs all others, and is even behind any phenomenon operating in the universe, and has not yet been identified by us. This universal force is love. When scientists looked for a unified theory of the universe, they forgot the most powerful, unseen force. Love is light that enlightens those who give and receive it. Love is gravity because it makes some people feel attracted to others. Love is power because it multiplies the best in us and allows humanity not to be extinguished in their blind selfishness. Love unfolds and reveals. For love we live and die. Love is God and God is love. This force explains everything and gives meaning to life. This is the variable that we have ignored for so long. Maybe because we are afraid of love, because it's the only energy in the universe. The man has not learned to live at will. I think he also, there's more to this the letter, and I think he's talking about that love from our true self. Okay, I guess this is what I have to say about longevity scent scripture. Do you have any comments?
What about this one? I am an old man of the South Pole.
Which one? Which
The
line?
same at the beginning. I said so.
Okay. I'm old man of the South Pole. This is his well, his not title, but just the name of the Buddha. Actually, Eric, can you bring up the picture of the longevity scent? You lower this, minimize this, then you will see that there is. You open up the email. Huh?
那你自己去弄吧。
Not this
He's,
one.
he's mentioned in Johnny West, right? CUT, 他有
老先问他 I forgot.
Yeah, he was mentioned.
Uh-huh.
Because,
Oh really? Journey to the
because
west.
Sun Wukong was,
Oh, yeah, that's
Monkey
him.
was in
King.
heaven, was in
Yeah,
heaven,
yes.
and he met him because,
Uh-huh.
he told him that if you eat
See
that
his-
peach, you eat
Okay,
that
that's the
peach,
peach.
you can live forever, right? That's what Sun Wukong was, he greedy, right? He ate it all.
Oh, yeah, the Monkey King. Yeah. You know that
No,
peach?
Lao, I don't know. I was not sure. No, 老子是在炼丹。
对呀，他偷吃。
No, 是树。
Yeah.
This is longevity sake, I said.
Okay.
This is
Yeah,
he wasn't here last week. Tell him about his birth. Tell him about how his mother gave birth.
I will tell him later.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And actually, I think, Karen, is this your last day before you go to Taiwan?
My last Sunday.
Last Sunday here, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, she has something more to share about the Iowa Dao Can. Do you have? And then Karen will be gone for an entire year. So I think we should give her the opportunity to share with us.
Yeah.
Karen?
We're gonna miss you.
Yeah, because you has been like an inspiration for all the young ladies here. So your absence will mean a lot to them. So so before you leave, if you could give us a little of your wisdom.
Pass that down.
Put this
Okay, this is very awkward. But here's something. Okay, I don't have any wisdom, but I know another young person who inspires me. This young person is in Iowa. He's from the Iowa Temple, and I've known him for 2 years. 2 years ago, when I went to Iowa, that was his first time attending Dharma class. And then this year, he is a staff member. Yeah, when I went to Iowa this year, he was a staff member. So he only received the Tao about maybe like a year and a half, maybe. But both him and his younger sister are completely vegan. So not only vegetarian, but vegan. And he hasn't been in the Tao for very long, but he now he's so sincere in the Tao that for example, this Dharma class, he had to translate. He is Burmese, but he knows 2 languages. He knows the Burmese language and the language called Karen. Not my name, but it's an actual Burmese people, right? So what would happen is the lecturers at Dharma class this year, they would lecture in English, and then he would translate into both Burmese and Karen at the same time for 2 full days, and just him. And so he was on his feet since 7 in the morning all the way until 6 in the afternoon, and I didn't hear one word of complaint from him. He's my age, and I feel like a lot of people my age would be like, oh, I'm so tired, I'm so thirsty, my feet hurt so much, but I didn't hear one word of complaint from him. Another story is that his family is not very well off. They're refugees from Burma. So he's been working and managed to buy a very small apartment for him and his family. And the apartment has 2 rooms. It has 1 living room and 2 bedrooms. So he gave 1 bedroom to his parents, and he gave the other bedroom to his sister, and he sleeps on a cot in the corner of his living room. So that's just,
Impressive, huh?
yeah, right. And they don't have a lot, but even though they don't have a lot, he's still so sincere and shows filial piety. And so when I heard that, I was so touched. Because his English is not very good, the job he works at right now is a packing job. It's very labor intensive. So he told me every day in the morning he wakes up Yeah. So he wakes up every morning at 4:30 to go to work, and then he works. He stands all day until 6 p.m. in like a freezer because he packs things in a freezer. So since the last time I saw him last year, he lost so much weight, and I think it's because his health is affected. But then that, he's like the main breadwinner for his family because parents are pretty elderly, I think. So when I hear his story, I feel so sad in my heart, but then, I also feel really inspired to do better.
Okay, we look forward to step up you and come back next year.
Yeah, I guess.